One person. Who's that? Tired, guys. I was just looking through my email, and this weird motherfucker that's always emailing me just the most insulting shit in the world emailed me a bunch of times tonight talking about the guy's obsessed with gay people and trans people. It's very bizarre. And he sent me a bunch of emails about that. So figured I'd come on here and talk about it because some people really are convinced that like Democrats are the party of, pedo stuff, which I'm sure there's pedos in that party too, but to completely leave out the Democrats, or the Republicans, I'm sorry, like they do nothing when there's, hundreds of Republican politicians who've been busted for pedo stuff, It's just amazing to me. Like people, I notice people don't want to learn, they have a narrative and they're going to stick to it. And, everything is like cognitive bias. They only look for opinions that, that are similar to their own, things that confirm what they already believe about, certain things or people or situations. And they have no desire to actually learn anything else. I see it in my chats every fucking day. Every day. I can never be that way. Hit the like button on the way in, guys. I'd appreciate it very, very much. Jump into the chat whenever you're ready. I don't want to just talk about the Epstein files tonight. I want to talk about, why MAGA has this perception that the Democratic Party is the party of pedos. I'm very, very curious. Very curious. I mean, other than the fact that they're stupid, that's the main reason, I know, but still, they see this stuff on social media posts. Like, do they hear it from their dumb friends? Where do they get this shit from? Hit the like button, guys. Subscribe if you haven't already. I got a list of names I might read off. Republican politicians who've been busted for, I'll just keep saying pedo stuff. I don't want to say that word, the whole word. It's not good for YouTube. Ain't that a bitch? 16 people. Hit the like button on the way in and subscribe if you haven't already. Jump into the chat anytime. I guess none of my regulars are around this late. This might take a while, as I see. Guys, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you, 19 people. Doing well, I see. Yeah, well, Michael Anthony, I've been on for 4 minutes. How should I be doing? How well do your live streams do? Oh, you don't live stream? Yeah. Stupid fuck. Doing well, I see. I've been doing pretty well for about 4.5 years making a living on YouTube. So, yeah, you got that right. Doing pretty well. You want to tell me, Michael Anthony, why your party is the party of pedos? Think it's all that religious horse shit? Drives you motherfuckers crazy? Next thing you know, you start doing pedo stuff? Is that what it is? Joe B. Yeah. What does that mean? I make a living in pickle parks. Yeah, totally less than straight. We know all about it. By the way, I've totally forgotten about you. I haven't even fucking I haven't seen you. I haven't heard about you. I have no interest in you anymore. It's got to be driving you crazy. Totally less than straight. Has to be. What's with all the Trump clout chasers on here lately? Well, I mean, if you choose to see them as Trump clout chasers, that's up to you. But wouldn't you say the clout chasers are probably the ones that follow him around to every single rally and vote for him, no matter how bad his policies are for America? That's when he even has policies, or people that just like dick ride him, so to speak. Wouldn't you call that a Trump clout chaser? Because Joe Snuffy, I got to tell you something. I don't know if you remember, just a year ago, since 2021, actually, you and all your friends were bitching non-fucking stop about Joe Biden, and most of you still are. So are we cloud chasing Joe Snuffy, or are we talking about the leader of the free world? Because it's the most important thing to be talking about. I wonder. I bet you do, totally less than straight. What have you been up to? What have you been up to? $29 people. It's going slow tonight, God damn it. Got 15,000 views on the last video. It was only about an hour. That was good. But I don't know about, since I'm on this late, I don't know how it's going to go. Nothing much. Oh, yeah? No, any new videos lately or anything? 45 people. Everybody, please hit the like button and subscribe. Jump in the chat whenever you're ready. We could start a conversation, an argument, whatever you'd like. I'm doing this show because, and I explained this in the very beginning. Of course, nobody was here when I explained it. Hold on. My God, don't need a dam to walk on water, fella. Gotcha. I have this guy, Carmine. He's a lunatic and not a bright guy by any stretch of the imagination. In other words, a MAGA dude. And this guy fucking emails me like 10 times a day with his political horse shit. And again, the guy knows nothing. I mean, nothing. Every single thing he emails me is wrong. And even though I send him back the facts, he doesn't change his mind. Because like I said, I think a lot of MAGA people are just incapable of learning. But I was looking at some of his sick emails a little while ago, and I thought, no, not that one. No, Minio. You know the one, totally less than straight. No, Ozzy's a good dude. I don't even care if he's a MAGA dude. He's a good guy. And I don't know that he is, but I think he's a Trump supporter. This guy's just, he's a hateful person, this Minio. And what's up to you, Fireball? He's constantly sending me these crazy emails. And I was looking at some of them earlier, and it's like, he every day, it's like, oh, Democrats are the party of pedos and stuff. And I'm like, do you really believe that? Do you know anything? Like, have you ever researched it? Because guys, I'm telling you, it's way more common on the right. I'm even going to prove it to you tonight. Yeah, sure I do, Kevin Davis. Michael Turpin, I don't imagine Trump's going to hold out any longer than the Biden administration did. Well, what about the administration before that, the first Trump administration? Why'd he wait so long? 4 years. How come he's not releasing the files right now, Michael? Yeah, Trump had them for 4 years before that. So why didn't Trump release them? Tell me, guys, why didn't Trump? If you're going to talk about Biden didn't release them, you have to include Trump in there and say, well, he didn't release them either. And by the way, he's still not releasing them. All that shit that went on in Congress, we didn't need all that. We didn't need to pass a law to release the files. He could have done it with the snap of a finger anytime he wanted. Well, we certainly don't know that yet. Totally less than straight. We haven't seen the Epstein files. We've seen a tiny fraction. Trump never sues the victims, and he sues for the petty shit. What do you mean? Like the people that accuse him? No, he doesn't. No, he didn't sue Elon. Elon said he's all over the Epstein files. Trump sues everybody. Most litigious man on planet Earth. And he didn't sue Elon. I wonder why. You're full of shit, dude. How's that, Harry? You want to answer my fucking question by any chance? How come Donald Trump didn't release the files for his first 4 years. Why not? Yeah, but shit. Donald Trump has unlimited resources. No, he didn't have them, but 2 BS impeachment. He didn't have the Epstein files? So the Epstein files only began existing when Biden took office? Trump 2028. Colden Daffer doesn't know anything about the Constitution, apparently. Trump keeps pounding you Dems. That's gay. You can't handle it. Cry about it, pussies. Yeah. Donald Trump has a 36% approval rating, and Democrats have been kicking ass all over the country. So, yeah, not quite. What a distraction. What's the distraction? Harry, the files were part of legal behavior bender. Why you always got to give it away? Don't tell him. Well, if Trump was guilty of anything, here we go. You can rest assured that they, Biden, I mean, would have brought it up and the AP would still be reporting on it. Unless, of course, Michael, what I already explained is true. And, well, actually, I didn't explain it yet on this stream, but on every other stream I have, Joe Biden couldn't release them. So there's that. I heard they released 16 pics downloaded and took them back. What's that about? Well, the one picture, number 468, was a picture of a desk drawer. Epstein's desk drawer had several pictures of Trump in it. One of the pictures, he's standing with a whole bunch of women, girls, whatever, that have their faces blocked out. And they deleted that overnight. Yeah. That's right, Thomas Garrett. Yeah, sure they are, Brian. Well, then I'll ask the same question that people ask about, well, if Trump is in the files, how come the Democrats didn't release them? If that's true, Brian, why isn't Trump releasing them now? And why didn't he release them in his first term? And why are we 11 months in and we're just getting, little tiny bits of information at a time? Why is that? Canadians for a Trump third term. Boy, talk about an opinion that doesn't matter at all. You notice they said that the Kennedy Center was renamed on Wednesday, but the sign was available to install in less than 24 hours. Yeah, of course. It's another one of Trump's little vanity things. Dems couldn't fight their way out of a wet paper bag unless there was a kid on the outside of it. All right. Well, Damon, they're winning all over the country in these special elections and stuff. I don't know if you've taken notice, and they're going to sweep the Republicans in the midterms. I mean, it's just a fact. If we have actual free and fair elections, which I doubt we will, the Democrats are going to destroy the fucking Republicans. More Democrats are involved than Republicans. Trump is not even in there. You'll need to wake the fuck up. Y'all are just miserable, man. Trump is making America great again. Well, tell me which Democrats are in there that you know of for sure. And by the way, Donald Trump was in a picture with a bunch of girls, and that file 468 that the Department of Justice released yesterday and then deleted overnight. So any question of him being in the files at this point is, no longer valid. All of Clinton and none of Trump. Ha ha ha. You were wrong. No, I wasn't. That's what they said they were going to do. That's what we knew Donald Trump was going to do. Listen to the guy from the Department of Justice.
Well, those files do exist.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of pages of files. They'll redact every Republican or conservative person in those files. Leave all the liberal, Democratic people in those files.
I think they visited that Maxwell person.
Yeah.
And also involved.
She got transferred to a minimum security prison too recently, which is against BOP policy because she's a convicted sex offender. They're offering her something to keep her mouth shut.
Yeah, and again, you can't say zero of Trump. That none were of Trump, because it is a fact that they deleted, again, I'll say it again, a picture of Trump with a bunch of girls last night. They did that overnight. You telling me they didn't? I don't know, Kevin. I don't know that it was, but it doesn't change the fact that the Department of Justice deleted it overnight. Now, why did they do that? Yeah, right, Cole. But you think Trump does, you fucking idiot. Trump gets spray tans. I do the thing cheaper, no bathing. I know you do. Billionaires love Trump and SCOTUS. Yes. This is what an authoritarian regime does. Ignore law, blue wave coming. Oh, no doubt, Rob. So how long did you guys have the files? Me personally, I've never had the files. I'm just a guy on YouTube. I don't know what you meant by you guys, but again, how long did Trump have them? He in his first term, he had the files, right? And he didn't release them. Why? Don't tell them, guys. Don't tell them. You're on cheap dope. Sure, I am, Randy. I'm actually 6.5 years clean and sober, but thanks. You should have an ID to vote. Do you agree? No. You should no. You don't. It's not in the Constitution. It's everybody above 18 gets has the right to vote. Period. If you're an American citizen, so they're only doing the voter ID thing because it disenfranchises minorities. That's it. Yeah, you could think that all you want, but I have a feeling that's all projection. It's illegal to be in a picture. Tony Stitch, the Department of Justice deleted it overnight. Now, why did they do that? Because Trump wasn't doing anything wrong in the picture? Sure. The Democratic in the files are Clinton. So, Carlo, you don't think any of that has to do with Trump, trying to distract everybody by showing pictures of Clinton and keeping the pictures of himself from everybody, right? You don't think that Trump's just saying, hey, let's put these pictures out, which, by the way, they fooled you again, because a lot of those pictures are bullshit. There's one picture of Bill Clinton with Michael Jackson and then two kids with their faces blocked out. What they don't want to tell you is that those two kids were Michael Jackson's kids. They weren't some victims. Okay. So, this is what the guy from the Department of Justice said they were going to do. That's why they're taking forever to redact the files. And there's 300 gigabytes of Epstein files. And so far they've released, I think, 2.5, and 1.5 of that had already been released. There's thousands of pages that were released yesterday that are completely blacked out. You can't read. There's not one word. Sure, Carlos, sure. The Democrats are rigging elections and have been for years. Fuck these weak little snowflakes. Give me an example of one. Give me a credible source of any Democrat fixing an election. Go ahead, just one. Tony Smiley, that's just you saying it. What do you mean? I never said anything of the sort. When Donald Trump won, I said Donald Trump won. We're not like you guys. We're not conspiracy theorists that go into denial because our guy loses. You guys are a bunch of bitches. They're like, oh my God, our guy lost. Let's just deny it to the end and start a riot at the Capitol, dude. You know what I mean? Trump wasn't in the files. Wasn't. He was, and he still is. AI video. Yeah, it's not an AI video. It was widely circulated. The guy had to talk about it on X, and his higher ups at the Department of Justice also talked about it. This is not something I made. This is something that was widely reported on when this dipshit from the Department of Justice went out on a date with a girl who was wearing a camera and a microphone to set him up. So, and that's not even the whole video. Biden had files 4 years. Trump had the files way more than that. Trump's going on 5 years as we speak. Yes, that's right. You're an idiot on YouTube. If you're going to call me an idiot, Steven, could you spell your right? YOU''RE. Thank you. Tony Smiley, they're not underage? How do you know that? And where's the picture? Tell me how to see that picture without the black spots in front of the faces. Go ahead. I'll go to it right now. Biden had files 4 years. Trump had files 5 years. Thank you, man. Congrats to you. That's awesome, Frank. Biden had all right, Jeff. Yeah, you're just getting annoying. No spam in the chat. So you basically, no matter what you are told, you're always going to think that there's some sort of conspiracy to fit your narrative. Let me read that again. So you basically, no matter what you are told, you're always going to think that there's some sort of conspiracy theory to fit your narrative. No, I don't believe in conspiracy theories. You guys are the conspiracy theorists. Trump being in the files is not a conspiracy theory, right? I mean, it's a goddamn fact. You guys are the only people in the country who don't know this because you can't read. Not only did they just delete a picture of Trump in the Epstein files last night, but Pam Bondi told Trump in May that he's all over the Epstein files. He was best friends with the guy for 10 years. That's not a conspiracy theory. No, ask Frank. I don't think they did. No. Kevin Grew, you didn't hear about that little tiny lawsuit where Fox News had to pay $787 million because they slandered Dominion voting machines and they couldn't prove a thing. And Tucker Carlson got fired. You don't remember that, I guess, huh? He owns Epstein's plane. He just put Trump on it. Yep. Why does he keep deleting photos? Because he's a pedo. The misery of left-leaning people has them captured in a circle of hate and slander to the point they believe whatever they are fed. You guys are amazing. John, you're literally brainwashed by the world's most famous con man. Like a person like me or the smart people in the chat can never be conned by. Only you dummies can. You've been conned into believing that a lifelong billionaire who had everything handed to him from his fucking daddy and was born with a silver spoon in his mouth actually cares about working people. That's how fucking dumb you are. And the circle aren't, or the left aren't the miserable ones. I don't know if you know, but like most incels, almost all of them are right wing. You know, same with mass shooters and school shooters and stuff. You know, like you guys literally vote for an asshole just because he hates the same people you hate. You hate the LGBTQ community, you hate black people, you hate Muslims, you hate Mexicans, you hate everybody who isn't lily white and straight. And the funny part is, you guys ain't even straight. You know, there's no doubt you're the gayest people in America right now. The MAGA, you know, you're all closeted. Fucking Grindr crashes in any town where there's a huge public or Republican convention. It's a gay dating app. So, and I could read you some stuff now if you'd like. No problem, Javier. Dumb is the guy you see every day when you brush your teeth. Good. It's a great one, Jeffrey. Awesome. Oh, my God. You wish you vote for career politicians who have only ever screwed you. So Trump isn't a career politician now? And by the way, who do you vote for? Do you vote for Republicans? Are they all career politicians? You dumb motherfucker, you? Yeah, I believe so. Who are you voting for that's not a career politician? I'm curious. Who? And don't say Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is now in his second term. Okay? We're going on how many fucking years now since Trump has been a full-blown politician? We're about 10 years now, almost 11. So, yeah. You do vote for a career politician, dopey. You defend the very politicians that steal and launder your hard-earned money, then feed you a lie that their opponents are bad people. No, John, I do not defend Republicans. That's not true at all. That's not true at all. You guys defend the Republicans. They're the ones that steal and launder hard-earned money. Guys, John, do you know that like $500 to $800 out of every year that you earn a paycheck? Okay, every year your total income, like $500 to $800 goes to corporate subsidies and bailouts for billionaires. Do you know that? Meanwhile, $36 of your money every year goes to SNAP. Like you guys, the funniest thing Republicans ever did to you, dopes, is they convinced you that it's not the people all the way at the top that have way more than they could ever need that are your problem. It's actually the people poorer than you. You know, it's true. That's why you guys get laughed at the way you do. You talking about MAGA? No, they're all drinking it. Yeah, well, guess what? It's the law now. They got no choice. They'll just keep redacting Trump out of it, and that's it. I'm one of the smartest people who voted for the greatest American president. I fully support Donald Trump. I'm proud of Donald Trump. Jesus Christ. Democrats are the most racist people on earth. Do you hate America? That's why you allow Somali. Oh, there we go. You're actually saying something racist while calling other people racist. let me ask you something. Do you mind that Jeff Bezos pays a 1.1% tax rate when American, hardworking teachers pay like a 35% effective tax rate? Does that bother you? Who are you talking about? Stealing money. You're talking about something that went on in Minnesota. Okay. Yeah. And we're racist. Let me ask you, who is it? Which party is it that tries to tear down Confederate statues and statues of slave owners? And which party is it that fights to keep those up? Also, which party still flies the Confederate flag? Just out of curiosity. Yes. How come Trump didn't do it in his first 4 years? This man is correct. Pay attention, guys. You might be complicit in child rape. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are. Trump's penis is, oh, God. Brandon, again, another MAGA guy with gay sex on the mind. I swear you guys are fucking, there's no helping you. I mean, why don't you go to conversion therapy or something? Isn't that what Republicans believe in? I have never heard straight men talk about gay sex like you motherfuckers do. It's so fucking weird. That's because you're not straight. You got it on the brain. You got dicks and gay sex on the brain. That's why you're so worried about who's trans and who isn't. You just want to be able to identify who has a dick and who doesn't, so you know who to hit on. Teachers, nobody likes teachers anymore. That is truly, Mark, I got to say, one of the stupidest fucking things I've ever heard in my life. No, you know what it is? You guys, again, are dumb. So you don't realize that, like, when Republicans, like even Charlie Kirk, would tell you, don't go to college. College is a waste of time. Don't go to universities. It's a waste of time. They all went to colleges and universities, and they all send their kids there. Why do you think it is that they tell their base, don't even bother with college. It's a waste of time. You know why? Because when people go to college, they learn. And when people learn, they don't vote Republican. They don't, you know what I mean? They're smarter than that. That's why they don't want you guys or your kids going to college. They need a stupid electorate to keep them in power because they don't have a single appealing policy, I don't think, throughout the last 50 years of the Republican Party. Yeah, that's not true. It's not true. Let's ask Grok. Let's ask Elon Musk's Grok. Hey, Grok. Hey, Grok.
Hey there. What's up?
Hey, was the 2020 election stolen in any way, shape, or form?
No. There's no credible evidence that the 2020 election was stolen in any meaningful way. Over 60 court cases, including ones with Trump-appointed judges, tossed out fraud claims for lack of proof. Recounts and audits in places like Georgia, Arizona, and Wisconsin confirmed the results with tiny changes that didn't flip any states. Isolated fraud cases happen in every election, but nothing on a scale that could have changed the outcome. Experts put potential issues at a few hundred votes nationwide, out of over 150 million cast. The big lie stuff just didn't hold up.
Thank you, Grok.
No problem.
Who's the racist? You said MAGA hate LGBTQ, but in the same sentence tells us MAGA are gay. Yeah, I'm just pointing out, I'm making an observation that MAGA guys, I think, generally are gay. I don't hate gay people. You guys overcompensate. You pretend to hate gay people because you're, you know what I mean? You don't want people to be onto you. It's like, if we just talk about gay people, they'll never believe we're one of them. It's that type of thing. So I'm not saying anything bad about gay people. I have no problem with them. I'm just pointing out that you guys are. Oh, and Dr. Oz talking about costs of sex change for children. What the fuck? I know. Matthew, Carlin White, what did I mess up? Not a thing. Heard your dad was a pedo. Is that right, Daniel? Projection, maybe? Support the LGTV community. V, huh? I'm gay and a Trump supporter. That an issue? No, I couldn't give a fuck. You're fine. Being gay is fine. Being a Trump supporter makes you a scumbag. You know what I mean? But if you're a gay Trump supporter, you're also stupid too. You know what I mean? You're fucking confused. Am I right or left? Center. You're the one obsessed with gayness talking about. No. I'm just pointing out when I have a chat here. I'm going back and forth with people, having conversations. I'm just want to point out that I'm a straight man, right? And not for 1 second of my day do I think about trans people or gay sex. Not 1 second out of my day. But you guys, every single chat is filled with it. Every single chat. Why, Mark, why are you cool with Trump lying to you and the military? The money has nothing to do with tariffs. It was already appropriated for their housing by bipartisan bill. He openly lied and you don't care. They don't care. Yeah, that money is not an extra bonus for the military. It's just part of their housing allowance that he's, you know what I mean? He's just using as a bonus. That's it. Oh, I'm not nearly as tolerant as you think. I'm not a liberal. I listen. Let me explain. Everybody's fine with me except for you guys. I hate MAGA people with a red hot passion. I can't stand people that support pedophiles. It makes me sick. You know? Yeah, I know. Democrats like to call names like low IQ children. Yeah, because this chat isn't filled with MAGA people calling me names right now. It's just me. I know I'm the bad guy. You're all victims. Trust me. We know all about MAGA. Trump is your leader. He's the biggest victim. And the rest of you cry and piss and moan like you're victims too. I mean, you guys are the people that think straight white men are the biggest victims of American society. All Democrats are corrupt. Tell me which ones and how they're corrupt. What do call Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton? Do you mean Bill Clinton? What do I call him? Bill Clinton. Why? What should I call him? They should write a book and call it. They should write a book and call it what? Oh, okay. What about Joe Biden? It was only a matter of time till one of you brought him up. What about him? This is what I mean about this guy. The reason I'm doing this show, this guy just emailed me, right? He said, Chris, the 220 election, he meant 2020, was crazy corrupt, and to be missing 10 million votes the very next election proved it was stolen. Also, the man who invented barcode scanning in court said the ballots are all fake and that he can check out 500K in 2 hours if they're real or not. And the judge said, no, LOL, that's stolen. You know, it was it was in your heart. No election. This guy's illiterate, by the way. Had people with hand tricks full of, I don't know what a hand trick is, full of ballots hanging on this. This is what I mean. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's completely untrue. I mean, you think 60 federal judges, many of which were appointed by Trump, were just like, yeah, let's help the Democrats cover it up. You know, you think all these people could keep a secret? All these people that were in on it? Yeah. Carmine, you're a fucking moron. I'm sorry, but you are. Sometimes I think you're kind of a good guy deep down inside, but you're not. You're too stupid for your own good. I mean, you heard what Grok just said, right? Do you think you're right over Grok? Elon Musk's Grok, the AI that sources information from a million different places to come to a conclusion. I mean, I'll tell you what, Carmine, if you're listening, and I have a feeling you are because you brought up the 2020 election, email me your credible source about the election being stolen. Email me your credible source. Nancy, insider trading. Yeah, and Barron Trump and Eric and Don Jr. and Marjorie Taylor Greene and many other Republicans. Yeah, I don't like insider trading. Marjorie Taylor Greene made $25 million off of Trump's bullshit with the tariffs. Well, Barron Trump made $150 million. And Don Jr. and Eric and Ivanka, all their net worths have doubled since Trump took office the second time. Not to mention, Trump has made $3.8 billion since January 20th. 40% of his entire net worth has been accumulated in the last 11 months. So, libtards are hilarious to watch. Well, I mean, do you always find that people that are funnier than you are hilarious to watch? I mean, You know, guys, that you're like a laughing stock, right? Like, I mean, the whole fucking world laughs at you people. You do know that, don't you? I mean, I believe that's one of the reasons you guys are so angry all the time. Guys, please hit the like and subscribe. It's very, very important. We got 301 people in the chat, so please do that. I would like to get a lot of subs today. It doesn't hurt. It's free. It's a free way to support me, you know? And if you think I'm doing a good job here and you're like-minded, why not you know, why not subscribe? Let me see. 3.1 trillion added to the debt in 10 months. Lost jobs 4 out of 6 months. I'm not sure about the 3.1 trillion part, but yeah, he has lost jobs 4 out of the last 6 months. Yeah. Libtarded, when you fight for a cause you don't understand, using facts you didn't check, defending values you don't really believe in until someone disagrees, and suddenly they're racist and Nazi. Gee, where did you hear that one from? Directly from Fox News or Elon or one of your dumb hillbilly friends on Facebook? Bro, I could bury you in a debate. I mean, you guys are the dumbest people on planet fucking Earth. You don't know anything. You literally don't know anything. And you're talking about liberals. Liberals will eat you alive, bro. You guys are I'm going to say it again. Look, guys, look at the 2024 electoral map by education. Please do it. Look it up right now. The dumbest states in this country voted for Trump in 2024. And the most educated, wealthiest states in this country voted for Kamala Harris. What a coincidence, right? So that's why you guys are like this. You come in here, you can't spell, you have no grammar, you miss words and your shit. You're all over the place, a bunch of word salad. And then you talk like as if you're smart, but you don't bring any actual facts. It's all lies and misinformation. That's funny you call us libtards when we flipped 21% of Republican seats so far, but you still think you're winning. Oh, they do. They do. AI is no different. Let's hear this brilliant theory. AI is no different from TV news and past newspapers from the day peddling false information. That's not how you spell peddling in that context. But that's simply not true. Again, I don't think you understand, K-Dog. Like when you ask AI a question, it automatically scans through millions and millions of sources and it comes up with the right answer. You know, it's not biased. This is Elon Musk's Grok. You want me to say it again? Like, because when I use Google, you say, oh, Google's left-leaning. So I started using Grok. This is Elon Musk's. So in other words, if any AI was going to be right-leaning, it would be this. And it just told you the 2020 election wasn't stolen. I know you guys, though, you're staring at the TV, at the computer screen or the phone, like, what'd he say? I don't understand a word he's saying. I know you guys you're brain dead. I know you're like zombies. How did I just prove whose point? What did I prove? And they all have horrible crime. Oh, what do? You know that red states have the highest rates of violent crime. And it's not because of blue cities, and I can prove it. Red states have the highest rates of violent crime. You want to hear? Yeah, we're easily manipulated. Yeah, you voted for a guy that wakes up every morning and spray tans himself orange and robs you fucking blind, you idiot, and fills your head with misinformation. So you come in chats like this and make an asshole out of yourself. Hey, Grok, what was I going to ask? Forgot what I was going to ask. Does anybody remember? I don't remember now. Oh, well. You're mad. I'm not mad, Series Queries. I had a good night. I laid with my wife. We watched a good movie called Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves. Pretty interesting. And now I'm doing a show before I go to bed because, you know, this is how I make a living. Trump supporters don't like AI anymore because AI says so many good things about black people. Probably. I wouldn't doubt if that's why. Oh my God. The most educated, the so-called educated are, the letter R, taught at the schools of indoctrination. Yeah. They're smarter than you, bro. I'll tell you what's indoctrination. The Republican Party, the Bible, religion, that's indoctrination. Education is just that. It's an education. Okay. So I love how they try to, it's like, it's no big deal that we're stupid because school just indoctrinates you. Like, no, you should have gone to school and you should still consider taking it up, maybe. You're the party of slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, the KKK, BLM, Antifa, and drag queen story time. You have no credibility as a rapidly shrinking cult. We're a cult, not MAGA, not you guys that all wear the same hat and the same merch and follow an orange-faced fucktard from rally to rally and cheer him on even when he calls you stupid. We're the cult. Yeah, okay. And we're not the party of slavery. That's the Republicans of today. Same with Jim Crow, segregation, and the KKK. BLM and Antifa. Antifa is not an organization. BLM, I couldn't give two shits about. Drag queen story time. Again, another thing you're afraid of for no fucking reason. What do you think's going to happen if your kid gets a story read to them by drag queens? And believe me, I'm not even a fan of this at all. But why does it bother you? Because I can tell you a personal story of mine, you know. But I'm curious, why does it bother you exactly? Well, thank you, Kent. Do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe, please. And you probably voted for someone that was too similar to be president and possibly his vice president that only got there because she's a black female, since Biden specifically said that. And you probably voted for someone that was too similar to be president. Too similar to be president. Yeah, Shadow, I'm going to go ahead and say you probably used the wrong word there. A felon married to an immigrant is telling us the problem is American immigrants and felons. I know. How great is that? I know. You're a dummy, dude. How come it's always the people trying to tell me how unintelligent I am that spell the word you're wrong? Do you know that there's two different yours? Like if I were to say, hey, I'll see you at your house, that's Y-O-U-R. If you were to say, hey, you're a dummy, it would be Y-O-U''RE. I mean, how fucking old are you that you don't know this yet? Christ almighty. Oh, violent crimes in red states. Yeah. There you go. Hey, Grok.
Hey, what's on your mind?
What states have the highest rates of violent crime in the U.S.?
According to the most recent FBI data for 2024, the states with the highest violent crime rates per 100,000 people are usually 1. Alaska, around 750 to 1,200, though some reports vary. 2. New Mexico, often topping the list at 780 or higher. 3. Louisiana. 4. Tennessee. 5. Arkansas. 6. Alabama. 7.
Go on. Can you start at Alabama? Because I don't know what the fuck happened to your sound.
Alabama is sitting around 500 to 550 violent crimes per 100,000 lately, putting it in the top 10, usually behind heavy hitters like New Mexico, Alaska, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Arkansas. A lot of it boils down to poverty in rural areas and smaller cities, plus gun violence being a big driver. Alabama's got one of the highest murder rates in the country, mostly firearms. Cities like Birmingham, Mobile, and Anniston spike the numbers hard, but even some tiny towns have bad outbreaks. Good news is, like everywhere else, violent crime's been dropping in 2025. Homicides down big in places like Birmingham and Tuscaloosa this year. Still rough though, man. What part of the state you talking about?
I'm just curious. Could you give me a list of, say, the top 10 states with the highest violent crime rates?
Here's the latest top 10 for violent crime rates per 100,000 people, based on the most recent FBI reported data from 2024. 1. Alaska, around 758. 2. New Mexico, about 780. 3. Tennessee, 621. 4. Arkansas, 645. 5. Louisiana, 628. 6. Alabama, around 500. 7. South Carolina, 539. Missouri, 490. 9. Nevada, 460.
All right,
10.
Grok. Thank you, Grok.
You're welcome.
And what did they say? I swear to God, Grok, Elon Musk's Grok, did not say this is because of the big cities in the red states. No, they said this is because of high poverty. Yeah, because, again, red states are also the worst in education and the poorest. And you know why? You want to know why? Let me give you, I would let you guess, but you're too stupid. The reason red states are worst in healthcare, worst in education, and have the highest poverty rates and the highest violent crime rates is because you keep electing Republicans. So don't tell me shit about blue cities, because those blue cities have the most money and the most well-educated people. And if it wasn't for those blue cities, just New York and LA alone, most of those red states would go fucking bankrupt because they're taker states. They're welfare states in every way. They get disproportionately more funding than larger states for SNAP and welfare. And they take more money out of the federal government than they put in. California puts in $85 billion more than it takes out. Texas takes out $75 billion more than it puts in. So high poverty in dem cities. Well, not as much as in just red states in general. And you heard what it said, too. It said poverty in red rural areas, not big cities. So why don't you answer your commit sections? What's a commit section? So stupid. Most of the country is a red state. Yeah, but they still have, less people than those important blue areas on the outside there on the coasts. Population density. You know what I'm saying? That's why the only chance Republicans usually have is through the Electoral College. Yeah, sure, Troy. Are you fucking high? Why doesn't the governor and mayor of Chicago stop the killings every week in Chicago? It's sickening. Why doesn't the governor and mayors of cities in Alabama stop the killings? Why? Did you hear the news? You know that Illinois isn't even on the list of the most violent states in America, right? So you can talk about Chicago all you want, but it's those red rural areas in red states that have the most violent crime. If you want to hear it again, I'll play it again. Guys, please hit the like and subscribe. It's very, very important. Mass crime in blue cities. Yeah, just not as much as in those red rural areas in the red states. You can look it up yourself, because I'll tell you what, if it was blue cities causing the red states to have the highest rates of violent crime, then why wouldn't the states with the biggest blue cities have the highest rates of violent crime, like New York and California and Illinois? Why? Tell me that. Cleveland, Ohio, Dems 100 plus years, FBI raided them and found mass corruption and theft, places of dump, shootings daily, high murder rate, welfare, unemployment, and failing education. Ohio's a red state. So, yep. And the blue city, fine, red state, either way. And it sounds a lot like the other red states, what you're describing right there. I know you're describing a city, but the red states, places are dumps, shootings daily, high murder rates, welfare, unemployment, and failing education. Yeah, so good job pointing out one city. Well, the 80s, really, and that's thanks to Reagan, and when they got rid of the fairness doctrine. Electoral college needs to be abolished, in my opinion. All right. Oh, electoral. Yeah. I was like, what? Yeah, me too. I think so, too. But the blue cities have the most homicides, nearly triple the amount of any red state, including New Orleans, Memphis, LA, New York City, Boston, DC, Chicago. So did you hear Grok when she said per 100,000 people? So per capita, they have the highest rates of violent crime. That's how everything is measured, per capita. Same with poverty and all the other shit. So That's how it goes. There's more people in the places you're talking about. So, of course, there'll be more of everything. But it's disproportionate in red states. You know, they have more violent crime per 100,000 people. So, yeah, I know, Ryan H. I know. Trumpers don't care about only getting 2 pencils. They can't write. This board is a perfect example of why Trump loves the uneducated. I know. Listen, man, this motherfucker really stood in front of the whole goddamn country and said, fuck affordability. It's a Democrat hoax. He said, what you guys need to start doing is stop buying your kids so many fucking pencils. Your kids don't need 37 pencils. They only need 2 pencils. About a year ago, he gave the same speech about dolls. Why do you got to get your daughter so many dolls? She could use 1 doll. She don't need all those dolls. So in other words, Trump and the Republicans' advice for you struggling people is, don't come to us for help. Just stop spending so much fucking money. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has great Gatsby parties with naked women in cages and a spread like I've never seen before, spending $400 million on a fucking ballroom, got a Qatari jet given to his ass as a bribe that he's now going to spend $1 billion in tax money to retrofit only so he could take it with him when he leaves office. Spent $95 million this year alone on golf trips. But he's telling you guys, you don't need that many fucking pencils. This is literally what he said. Don't forget, Trump called the Montreal cognitive assessment test very, very hard. I know. They don't have the most crime. Big blue cities have the highest violent crime, a vicious, despicable crime. All right. Well, we'll do this again since you don't believe it. Hey, Grok. Wait. Hey, Grok. Can you please tell us which states have the highest violent crime rates?
According to the latest FBI data for 2024, the states with the highest violent crime rates per 100,000 people are Alaska at around 724, New Mexico about 717, then Tennessee around 592, Arkansas 579, and Louisiana 520. Keep in mind DC tops the list, but it's not a state, and overall violent crime dropped nationally last year.
Last year, huh?
Yeah, the most detailed state-by-state numbers we have right now are from 2024. FBI dropped them a few months back, and they still show Alaska and New Mexico leading the pack like I said. No full 2025 breakdown yet, but early reports say violent crime's still dropping this year too.
Hey, so that was Biden. Biden was president then, yeah. Can you tell us why red states have the highest rates of violent crime?
It's not really a simple red state thing. Most of the highest violent crime happens in specific cities, like Memphis, Little Rock, or New Orleans, and those cities are usually blue, Democrat-run, even when the state overall votes red. When researchers control for stuff like poverty, urban density, demographics, and how many people own guns, the political color of the state basically washes out. The big drivers are things like concentrated poverty, historical inequality, drug markets, and weaker social services that hit harder in the South and parts of the West, no matter who's governor.
So
nationwide,
is a lot of this violent crime because of poverty in the red rural areas of these red states?
Part of it, sure. Rural poverty correlates with higher crime in isolated spots like Appalachia or Deep South counties, where unemployment and meth issues drive theft and assaults. But honestly, the spikes I mentioned earlier, those are mostly urban. Memphis, Detroit, Atlanta suburbs, big blue cities in red states pack in way more violent incidents per capita than sparse rural towns ever do, even poor ones.
Why isn't it Illinois, New York, or California with the highest rates of violent crime?
They aren't at the top because they're big cities. Chicago, NYC, LA have seen massive drops in murders and shootings the last couple years.
Did I say no? New York State, California, and Illinois, why aren't those states with the highest violent crime rates since they have the biggest blue cities?
Because the huge blue cities in those states, NYC, LA, Chicago, have been dropping murders and shootings like crazy since 2021 to 2023. NYC's down over 30%, LA's down about 25%, Chicago's down around 20% just in the last 2 years. Meanwhile, a bunch of mid-sized and smaller cities in red states, Memphis, New Orleans, St. Louis, Baltimore, Birmingham, either stayed flat or didn't fall as fast, so their state totals stayed higher. Also, those 3 blue states have massive low-crime suburban and rural areas that drag the statewide average way down, while a lot of the high-rate red states have fewer people overall. So 1 or 2 hot cities, Memphis, Little Rock, punch the state rate up more. It's math, not politics.
So is part of the reason red states have so much violent crime because there's so much poverty and such low levels of education?
Yeah. Poverty and lower education levels are 2 of the strongest predictors of higher violent crime pretty much everywhere. Studies show that consistently. The South has had higher poverty rates for decades. Think generational stuff from agriculture collapse, segregation fallout, fewer big industries, plus lower high school and college graduation rates on average. And those 2 things explain a huge chunk of why states like Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee show up high on the lists. It's not really about red politics directly. It's more regional and historical. Add in things like easier gun access and hotter temperatures, which crank up aggression and research, and you get the pattern. When stats folks control for poverty, education, and urbanization, the red-blue gap mostly disappears.
See? So there you go, guys. Blue states are just, or blue cities are just a minor factor. They're just one of the factors that cause these red states to have so much violent crime. And again, those states that have the worst healthcare, the worst education, and all of that, they're Republican states. You guys keep voting Republican, and that's why you have these issues. So, and again, the thing, you heard what she said about the biggest blue cities are in states like Illinois, California, and New York, whereas in those states, the suburbs have very, very low crime rates, whereas as far as the red states, the red areas and the rural areas outside the cities have high violent crime rates. So that's what happens when you put poor people all together and they're stupid at the same time and they have easy access to guns.
Hold on. That's not what I said at all.
Grok.
Rural red area. Whoa. Hold on.
Go ahead.
That's not what I said. Whoa. Hold on. That's not what I said at all. Rural red areas actually have lower violent crime rates than cities, blue or red.
No, but you said that there's high crime rates in rural red areas.
No, Apache, Omishogu rural red areas 有高犯罪率，正好相反。我一直强调的是，美国农村不管红州蓝州的暴力犯罪率其实很低，比城市低很多。那些红州整体排名高的原因，几乎全来自城市里的暴力，像 Memphis, St. Louis, New Orleans 这些蓝城市。
What language are you speaking, Rob?
English. I slipped into Chinese back there. Stop straight away.
Why? Why did you slip into Chinese?
Just a glitch. Happens sometimes when I'm typing fast. Happens to the best of us.
All right. Thank you, Grog. Have a good night. All right. Chinese. Yeah, that was interesting. Screen record this live, bro, is cooked. Gonna make my own channel. Go ahead, bro. You heard what she said the first time. The bitch answers differently no matter how you fucking ask her. The first time she said it, she said high crime in red rural areas. You heard it. So make sure you rewind that and screen record that too, because you just look for an answer that you want. She said there's many factors other than the blue cities. You're telling me she didn't? She didn't talk about the high poverty levels and the low education levels. This is why red states, of course, the blue cities are always going to be a factor because there's more people in the blue cities. Therefore, there's more crime. But why is it that states like New York, the blue states, why aren't they the last in healthcare, education, And why don't they have the highest poverty rates? Why does it just happen to be Alabama, Alaska, Nevada, Missouri, Mississippi, Tennessee that have the highest rates of poverty, and they're last in education? Do you know that Oklahoma is the only state where every single county voted for Donald Trump? Every single county. And they are, I believe, 48th in education. Okay. Massachusetts is the only state where every what did I say? Hold on. Oklahoma is the only state that voted for Trump. Every single county voted for Trump. Massachusetts, every single county voted for Kamala, and it happens to be number one in education. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Real good people in Oklahoma. Yeah, real good. Yeah. Because it's all internet live facts. What just happened in DC? Anyone know? You talking about the guy that gave that Trump gave asylum to? Trump gave the guy asylum. You know that, right? He came in under Biden, but Trump gave that dude asylum. If you're talking about the guy that shot the National Guards people. Guys, hit the like and subscribe, please. I'd appreciate it. Trump out here stealing oil. Of course. Yeah. The peace president is going to drag us into a war in Venezuela. Not talking politics, talking people in Oklahoma are good people. Well, I can't say they're not. I've never been to Oklahoma. I'm just saying that it is like 48th in education, and every single county voted for Donald Trump. Now, if that doesn't tell you something, then I don't know what to say. God damn. Hold on, guys. What? All right. Statistics are red states with the highest rates of crime. Don't confuse yourself. I didn't. That's what I've been saying the whole time. These dickheads, because she said that blue cities are a big contributor, they think that that makes everything better. Makes everything better for them. Like, oh, see, it has nothing to do with the red rural areas, guys. Look them up. You're the dumbest, poorest people in the country. Anywhere there's that kind of poverty, there's going to be high violent crime. Anywhere. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. I'm gonna do something too in a second here. Give me a second. Hold on. Stick around, guys. No, I'm not trying to downplay it, bro. Guys. Tell me I'm wrong about anything I said. Tell me I'm wrong. Look, while red and blue states' crime rates are often debated, data from late 2025 and earlier analyses show that states that voted for Donald Trump in 2020 have consistently had higher per capita violent crime rates for over 2 decades. So if it's the blue cities, then why doesn't New York, Illinois, and California have the highest crime rates? Why not Maryland? They got Baltimore. Why not? Tell me why. She slipped in the Chinese. I know, that was good. MAGA just uses slurs and names when they can't handle the facts. I know. What do you mean in 2020? It says 2025. Key factors for high crime in red states. poverty and economic instability. Red states, particularly in the deep South, have often have higher poverty and child poverty rates. Poverty is widely recognized as one of the most significant predictors of violent crime. High gun ownership and lax laws. Gun ownership rates are estimated to be up twice as high as in typical red states compared to blue states, because firearms are used in nearly 80% of all homicides. Researchers link high ownership and less restrictive gun laws to increased murder rates. So in other words, the easier it is to get a gun, the more murders there are. You understand? Educational attainment gaps. States with higher rates of violent crime often have lower average levels of education. Those with a high school diploma or less are statistically overrepresented as both victims and perpetrators of homicide. Lower social and law enforcement spending. Blue states tend to spend more per capita on both social services and police resources. In 2021, blue states spent an average of $453 per resident on policing, while red states spent $341. See? Yeah, that's why. Yeah. Even that, you figure out a way to blame the Democrats, right? You guys are fucking clueless. State level view. When looking at whole states, red states generally have higher homicide rates. For example, in 2020, 8 of the 10 states with the highest murder rates were red states. Oh, you ready for this? Fuck Grok, that stupid bitch. Listen to this. Impact of local politics. Wait a minute, is that the one? No. A local level view, blue cities. Conservative think tanks argue these high state rates are driven by high crime, Democratic-led urban centers within those red states. However, other studies found that even when the largest blue city is removed from a red state, the state's murder rate often remains higher than that of blue states. So blow me. That's what I get for using Elon Musk's Grok. Yeah. And this is from congress.gov, World Population Review, thirdway.org, gigafact.org, Yahoo, house.gov, Harvard Gazette. And yeah, Harvard Gazette. Yeah. So there you go, guys. So you thought you had me for a second because Grok was being a fucking bitch. But again, I proved to you that I was right. And I could even go back in the show and you can see when I first asked her and the bitch said it's because of high crime rates in red rural areas. You could even, I'll show you. Hold on. Don't ever think you're going to get one over on me. You never will. I'm too educated on this shit. Guys, hit the like and subscribe. It's very, very important. I just read you all the sources that came from. So which was lying, Grok or the one I just read? I just read you all the sources that came from. Hold on. Let me see if I could do this.
A lot of it boils down to poverty in rural areas and smaller cities, plus gun violence being a big driver. Alabama's got one of the highest murder rates in the country, mostly firearms. Cities like Birmingham.
Damn, I went right to it. Listen to what Grok said the first time. You're the party of slavery, Jim Crow, segregation, the KKK, BLM, Antifa, and drag queen story time. You have no credibility as a rapidly shrinking cult. We're a cult, not MAGA, not you guys that all wear the same hat. It would be YOU apostrophe RE. I mean, what happened here sound? Hold on. Here we go.
Alabama's sitting around 500 to 550 violent crimes per 100,000 lately, putting it in the top 10. Usually behind.
Follow an orange-faced fucktard from rally to rally. I'll wait until it gets to that part. Stupid, we're the call. All right. And we're not the party of slavery. That's the Republicans of today. Let me see. You'd have to be a dildo to believe blue areas have less crime. Why? Because of your feelings, NY Birdman? Because you feel like blue areas have the highest rates of violent crime? Is that why? You know what Ben Shapiro says, right? Facts don't care about your feelings. So do you think the Dems won the fight against firearms that our country will be free of crime? There's no such thing as a fight against firearms. You just made that up. But isn't it funny, though, that all those sources just told you that one of the reasons blue states don't have as high of violent crime rates as red states is because there's easier gun access in red states. Ain't that some shit? Bro, never been to a red state? Shut up with your stupid data report. Go live it, you coward. Yeah, it's coward. There's an R in there. I'm in Florida like all the time. And I've been in many red states, the Carolinas, Georgia. New York is a blue state. The only areas with crime here are blue. New York, Rochester, etc. All red counties have barely any crime at all. Yeah, right. It's the suburbs in general, fuckface. It's the suburbs in general. No, that's right. Facts don't care about feelings because you're not listening to the facts. So tell me the facts.
Tennessee and Arkansas.
Okay. All right, listen. Hey, Grok. The bitch likes to change her mind, I guess. What?
Hey, what's on your mind?
What states have the highest rates of violent crime in the U.S.?
According to the most recent FBI data for 2024, the states with the highest violent crime rates per 100,000 people are usually 1. Alaska, around 750 to 1,200, though some reports vary. 2. New Mexico, often topping the list at 780 or higher. 3. Louisiana. 4. Tennessee. 5. Arkansas. 6. Alabama. 7.
Go on. Can you start at Alabama? Because I don't know what the fuck happened to your sound. It's convenient how you guys just forgot about this part. It's convenient. When you heard something you liked, you were like, that's the
Alabama's
right
sitting around 500 to 550 violent crimes per 100,000 lately, putting it in the top 10, usually behind heavy hitters like New Mexico, Alaska, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Arkansas. A lot of it boils down to poverty in rural areas and smaller cities, plus gun violence being a big driver. Alabama's got one of the highest murder rates in the country, mostly firearms. Cities like Birmingham, Mobile, and Anniston spike the numbers hard, but even some tiny towns have bad outbreaks. Good news is, like everywhere else, violent crime's been dropping in 2025. Homicides down big in places like Birmingham and Tuscaloosa this year. Still rough, though.
You see? You fucking dopes. Unfortunately, the bitch changes her mind every time you ask her the same fucking question. You keep talking about per capita bullshit. That's deceitful. That's the cover your ass. It's the big blue cities. Do you mean deceitful? If it's the big blue cities, then why don't the states with the biggest blue cities have the highest rates of violent crime? Why not? You are a coward. Shut the fuck up, pussy. You're using a fake name and a fake avatar. I bet I'd beat the fucking brakes off you. You guys should be thanking blue states for keeping your cost of living as low as it currently is. Without blue states' tax dollars, you guys would be living in shitholes. Yeah, well, they already are living in shitholes. Yeah. Per capita is the only metric that makes any sense to measure crime, and absolute values are meaningless. Yes. 100%. No. I didn't just ask it again, MS. That was the first time I asked it. That was the answer. Then when I asked it again, she gave an answer you liked. So you forgot all about the first answer and said, oh, we're right. When it turns out, no, you're not. She just said one of the contributing factors is high poverty in red rural areas and spikes in crime in small towns. So it's exactly what I told you. Don't ever think you could beat me in a debate. You don't stand a chance. What cities have the highest crime rates? It's going to be the biggest cities, Tony Smiley. Which, again, proves my point, because Why aren't blue states with those huge cities with high crime rates? Why don't they have the highest crime rates? The states that would tell you right there that it's not the blue cities. It's the area outside of the cities. You could look it up a million different ways. Red states have the highest rates of violent crime because of a number of factors. Blue cities are only one of the factors. It's also because of the lack of education and the high poverty. Anywhere there's high poverty, there's going to be violent crime. Anywhere. That's just how it works. Well, Robbie Gibbs, 410-941-9850. Let's see, bro. Give me a call. Hawaii, New York, California, yes, are high, but other cities are catching up in hike. Call me, guys. 410-941-9850. Let's see how you could do in a debate against me. Guys, please hit the like and subscribe.
So right, though, man. What part of the state are you talking about?
I'm just curious. Can you give me a list of, say, the top 10 states with the highest violent crime rates? Jesus Christ, card deal. You don't get it, do you? You know what they're also highest in, or highest in? Education, healthcare, wealth, stuff like that. Guys, this is why you got to go by per capita. You do know that wherever you have the most people, you're going to have the most crime, right? But the people that vote Democrat in those big cities are still doing much better than the people that fucking live in those red states, in those rural areas. Hello?
God.
To accept, press 1.
Hello?
Hello, who's this?
This is the show you called.
Oh, okay. I just had a question. You say that the red state's most violent crime because it's easy to get guns?
What? Say that again?
You say that because of the poverty in urban areas and the easy access to guns is why there's more crime in red states?
No. I said the poverty in the red rural areas.
No, I don't believe so. I'm pretty sure it's urban areas.
Okay, I just read to you that it isn't, and I gave you sources like house.gov and congress.gov and stuff like that, and Harvard Review and things like that. But you feel like you're right over them?
No, I'll agree with you on that. I'm just wondering why Tennessee accounts for 75% of all the crime in Memphis, Tennessee. Is 75% of all crime in Tennessee.
It's a big blue city, bro. There's more people. Do you understand there's going to be more people in the blue city than there's going to be in the rest of the state? That's just how it is. That's why I
looked it up. There's like 600,000 people in the city,
so
and there's like a couple million.
Bro, don't talk over me. That's why I keep making the point that if LA and New York City and Detroit and Chicago, if a state's violent crime rate is based on those big cities, why don't they have the highest rates of violent crime?
But you don't keep asking about the violent crime. You keep asking about the murder rate.
No, I did not. I keep saying highest rates of violent crime. No, I didn't. You can't tell me what I said.
Murder rate.
What?
Go back and find out yourself, man.
Bro, I know what I've said. And JGB just reminded me about something. The other thing they said is easy access to guns in those red rural areas. So, yeah.
So you're saying that easy access to guns is why the blue cities in those states are so bad?
No, I'm not saying it. Statistics are saying it. You're acting like it's a claim I'm making.
Okay, so the reason that there's so much crime in the blue cities is because they have Republican rules.
Say that again?
You're saying like Republican laws and, freedom, easier access to get guns is why the Democrat cities are shooting each other more?
No, now you're saying two completely opposite things. No. What would red states
guns?
Yeah.
And that's why they're killing more people.
Yeah, and that's mainly in the red rural areas again.
But 75% of all crime in Memphis in Tennessee is in Memphis.
Yeah, we know that.
Not helping you.
Huh? What the fuck did he say? No, I don't, DV. You don't understand. You guys are the dumbest people in America, which is the point I've been making this whole time. You don't understand how anything works. You don't understand that if blue cities were the reason that states have the highest rates of violent crime, then the cities with the biggest, or the states with the biggest blue cities would have the highest rates of violent crime. But they're not. It's Alabama, Missouri, Mississippi, Alaska, Nevada. These are the states with the highest rates of violent crime. And they have smaller cities. They don't have cities like fucking LA. And I mean, Alaska has Anchorage and shit. Don't get me wrong. But states like LA and New York, states like Alabama, Oklahoma, Missouri, Tennessee, they don't have cities like that. So why do they have the highest rates of violent crime? Why is that? Yeah, more guns, more crime, direct correlation, of course. Yes, of course. Red states, high poverty, easy access to guns, high population density cities that lean blue, sure. So politics isn't a correlate, it's the guns and poverty. All right. Says the guy that needs AI slop to educate him. No. Hold on, bro. You realize that if you want to know something, right? If you want the answer to something, you have to look for it somewhere, right? Like if it's something you don't know, or if it's just something you're trying to prove, you're trying to get other people the answer. So what would you use? Tell me what you would use. What would you use if you had to ask a question right now? What would you use to research it? But we already know the answer. It doesn't matter. You can't change the subject or move the goalpost. The red states have the highest rates of violent crime. That's it. Period. The end. The end. Which states have the highest rates of violent crime? It's not going to read it. Based on 2025 rankings and FBI data, New Mexico, Alaska, and Louisiana consistently report the highest violent crime rates in the United States. Violent crime is typically defined to include homicide, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault. States with the highest violent crime rates per 100,000 residents: New Mexico, Alaska, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, California, Colorado, South Carolina. Regional trends. Many states with high violent crime rates are concentrated in the South and Mountain West. Safest states. You ready? New England region, Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. What is it about those states again? Oh, yeah, that's right. So, sorry, guys. Republicans are actively protecting pedos, and yes, a shitload of MAGA are pedos. Look it up. Yeah, let's get to that real quick. So, guys, listen. Oh, shit. I think I might have just lost it. Hold on. List of Republicans arrested for pedophilia. All right. You guys ready? Hold on, guys. All right. Republican anti-abortion activist Howard Scott Heldreth is a convicted child rapist in Florida. Republican County Commissioner David Swartz pleaded guilty to M-wording 2 girls under the age of 11 and was sentenced to 8 years in prison. Republican Judge Mark Pazuhanik pleaded no contest to fondling a 10-year-old girl and was sentenced to 10 years probation. Republican anti-abortion activist Nicholas Morency pleaded guilty to possessing child P on his computer and offering a bounty to anybody who murders an abortion doctor. Republican legislator Edison Misla Alderando was sentenced to 10 years in prison for R-wording his daughter between the ages of 9 and 17. Republican Mayor Philip Giordano is serving a 37-year sentence in federal prison for sexually abusing 8 and 10-year-old girls. Republican campaign consultant Tom Shortridge was sentenced to 3 years probation for taking nude photographs of a 15-year-old girl. Republican racist pedophile and United States Senator Strom Thurmond had sex with a 15-year-old black girl, and which produced a child. Republican pastor Mike Hintz, whom George W. Bush commended during the 2004 presidential campaign, surrendered to police after admitting to a sexual affair with a female juvenile. Republican legislator Peter Dibble pleaded no contest to having an inappropriate relationship with a 13-year-old girl. Republicans and Congressman Donald Buzz Lukens, Republican fundraiser Richard A. Del Gaudio, Republican activist Mark A. Grethen, Republican Congressman Dan Crane, Republican activist Beverly Russell, Republican Congressman Robert Bauman, Republican activist Marty Glickman, Republican legislative aide Howard L. Brooks, Republican Senate candidate John Hathaway, Republican preacher Stephen White, Republican talk show host John Matthews, Republican anti-gay activist Earl Butch Kimmerling, Republican politician Keith Westmoreland, Republican election board official Kevin Cohen. I can't keep going because there's over 100 names on that list. So, and the reason I'm doing that is because I have an asshole that emails me on a regular basis and tells me how Democrats are the party of PDF files. You know, this guy thinks no Dems are pedos. You see, Card Deal, you see what you guys do? Like, I literally said nothing of the sort, nothing. But you just put words in my mouth. You can't defend what you just heard. So you're like, oh, he says no Dems are pedos. No. Let's stay on topic. I'm sure there's Dems that are pedos. There has to be. Meanwhile, I just read a list to you of Republicans. So is your only response to that going to be, I bet you there's Democratic pedos too? How do you feel about that? Are you bothered by pedos? Because that's the list I have. I'm doing a show about the Epstein files, and it's the Republicans covering them up. And I'm doing a show about Carmine Mineo constantly messaging me with bullshit statistics and lies. Oh, here we go again. You're comparing whole states against large blue cities in LA, Chicago, New York City, DC, etc. No, that's not what I'm doing. That's not what I'm doing. I'll say it one more time. So red states have the highest rates of violent crime. Now, you guys, you can't handle that fact. So what you say is, well, it's the blue cities because everything in your lives is the Democrats' fault. Black people, Mexican, gay people, trans people, everything bad in your shitty lives is the fault of Democrats or left-wingers, right? So you say the reason red states have the highest rates of violent crime are because of blue cities. I say, if it's because of blue cities, then why wouldn't Illinois, Michigan, California, New York have the highest rates of violent crime? That tells you that it's not just the blue cities in those states. It's the red rural areas. It's easier access to guns. It's higher rates of poverty and lower levels of education. That's what it is. Yeah, so what? The fuck's your point? Listen, Democrats, they can all go to jail if they're in those files and shit. I don't give a fuck. I think you forget that Trump was a Democrat too. I think you forget that, right? MAGA Trump is a pedo, but so were Dems. So we are so Dems. All right. Could you tell me which one specifically? You look for what you want and keep asking the questions until you get the answer you want. Wrong, MS. The first time I asked a question about the states, I got the answer, the true and correct answer, and I read it to you. Then later on, I tried a different source, Gemini AI, and I got pretty much the same answer as I got on Grok the first time. It's not me that does that. It's you guys. You heard all types of shit being said about why red states have violent rates or high rates of violent crime, and you stuck with the blue cities. That's all you guys heard. That's all you guys heard. 42 right-wing sexual predators charged in September alone, 10 times the rate of other countries, no comparison. I just read you a list of pedos. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It simply doesn't. Because, again, the bigger cities have the most people. The places with the most people will have the most of everything, including crime. You understand? That's why you go per capita. So per 100,000 residents, what is the rate of violent crime? And red states have the highest rates of violent crime per 100,000 residents. Yeah, but we got to know who. I mean, who are they? Cooking the books. Yeah, I know. You guys, if it's a fact that isn't convenient to you, it's not a fact at all, right? Yeah, I saw what you guys were saying when you were hearing all that. Oh, it's because blue cities don't report crime. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's retarded. Oh, my God. They don't get it. Again, it's not a comparison I was making in any way, shape, or form. It's a comparison you're making for some reason. What is wrong with them? What is wrong with these people? You keep grouping people like everyone is a super MAGA supporter. Well, if you're a Trump supporter, you're a super MAGA supporter as far as I'm concerned. Hold on. All right. It has nothing to do with politics, seriously. What doesn't? And again, guys, remember, you guys talk about constantly blue cities. Look at how these shitty blue cities are run. And all you got is crime, which, of course, there's going to be more crime where there's more people, you stupid motherfuckers. But you know why blue cities always vote Democrat? The most educated people in the country vote for Democrats. The poorest, least educated people in this country vote for Republicans. So those cities outside of those, bro, you're annoying the fuck out of me. I'm not taking no more calls. I'm going to fucking bed. Holy shit, bro. You motherfuckers are unbelievable. You're obnoxious as fuck. Holy shit. Anyway. No. I've done it before, bro. It's not. Try to look it up. I'm looking it up right now. I put in list of Democratic politicians arrested for pedo. The same thing I did with Republicans. I can't even find one. So go find it and come in and start giving us the names. Poor be broke Dems are pedos and rich Republicans are pedos. Why do you think is going to be talked about more? But again, you see what you're doing there, Didi Franco? You're just doing a both sides thing. Meanwhile, we can talk about Republican specific pedos. I just did it, right? And Epstein, his whole scandal, a lot of the people in those files, Elon's in the files, Trump's in the files, a lot of Republicans. Republicans are the ones covering it up. So instead of just saying, well, they're both in there, tell me who. Who exactly is in there? Anyway, what I was saying a second ago is you guys talk about high violent crime in blue cities, but you forget to mention they're also the most educated, wealthiest people. You know why? They vote for Democrats. Okay? And they vote for Democrats because of those two reasons. It works both ways. So you guys in the red states, I'm going to say this again, whether you like it or not, whether you want to blame it on Democrats or not. The red rural areas in red states have the lowest education and the highest poverty. Okay? So red states that keep voting Republican are highest in poverty, lowest in education and healthcare, and highest rates of violent crime. So if any of you were men or grown-ass women, you would say, well, you got a point there. You got a point there. We shouldn't just talk about blue cities then, should we? But you can't do it. Looking anything up is hidden. Oh, my God, for real. What do you mean? What's hidden? Bro, look. You think I'm bullshitting? I don't lie. So right up at the top, I put list of Democratic politicians, hold on, arrested for pedophilia. Okay? Look what I get. Here's the astounding list of Republican office holders. Republican racist pedophile and United States Senator Thurman. Okay, then I keep scrolling. Congress.gov. It's why a right-wing conspiracy so obsessed. There is no list. I'm not just telling you I couldn't find one. There isn't one there. There isn't one there. Show me where the list is. That's why I told you, go find a list and come back with it. I don't lie, guys. I seriously looked it up and there's nothing there. Guys, don't you understand? This is why you guys, you MAGA people, you're all so obsessed with gay sex and pedophilia. I think even some of you don't know you're closeted. Any men who walk around thinking about who has a dick and who doesn't, and who's having gay sex and who isn't, is gay. Okay, I'm telling you, straight men don't think this way. You guys in blue states are nothing but a bunch of communities trying to drain the government welfare. What states receive a disproportionate amount of welfare funding? Oh, what do you know? New Mexico, Louisiana, Mississippi, West Virginia, Alaska, Kentucky. Oh my God, look at that. Yeah, because red states also receive a disproportionate amount of welfare funding. There's many, many more white people. So there's many, many more white people on welfare. And those states disproportionately, again, per capita, receive more welfare funding than blue states. Okay. Again, that's because there's higher poverty in red states. You're all fucked up. You don't understand. And drain the government welfare, bro. Are you kidding me? New York and California and blue states and blue cities bring in more money. They pay in more money to the federal government than they take out. And red states are literally taker states. They take out more than they put in. So you might want to rethink that because you got it completely and totally fucking backwards. You guys hear welfare, you think black people. Highest rate of SNAP use in the entire country. Out of every county in the entire country, there's a county called Owsley County in Kentucky. It's 99.5% white or 99.2% white and 95% Republican. They receive and spend more SNAP than any county in all of America. So again, guys, MS, everything you're told, Fox News and all this horse shit, you're being lied to. You're not bright enough to figure it out. And you don't think that's suspicious. I don't think what's suspicious. No, Kevin Groot. No, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't think that because there isn't a list, then the Democrats didn't cover it up. Guys, look it up yourselves. You're telling me that if there was a lot of Democrats that were pedos, that there wouldn't be a list? You're telling me Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, Breitbart, none of them would have this list. So they're in on it too. So even the right wing is covering up for the Democrats, right? No, listen, you guys are perverted motherfuckers. Every time there's a big Republican convention in some town, the gay dating app Grindr crashes. Now that right there tells you that there's a lot of Republicans looking for gay dates of some sort. I know you guys don't want to admit it, but everything you think is the opposite. It's the Republicans that are the party of homosexuality and pedophilia. What's your point? Oh, I guess I don't have any. What do you mean, what's my point? They've been brainwashed into thinking the problem is that poor people get all the money. I know. Anyway. All right, guys. I'm going to get going for the night. And I'll see you next time. Have a good night. Peace.